doesn't look like there's any sense in trying to talk to you. You know you're really a moron. This time I'm not gonna hold back. It'll be your own fault if you die.
Sounds good to me!
Hey everyone, my name's David. Welcome to Storybound. This is my One Piece Returns recap of Logue Town through Little Garden. This video is going to have some gaps as I read 90% of these arcs leading up to Drum Island almost half a year ago. Things just kind of came up, frustrations grew, the channel content was lagging a bit. This stuff happens. However, we're back on track, slowly notching up the video quality in a manageable way and making my way back into One Piece. Gonna be upfront, these few arcs aren't my favorites by any means. They aren't particularly bad either. However, it felt much like a round of exposition and setups for things to come, introducing us to things like how the buggy pirates are still around, new types of devil fruit, expressing the importance of the island variations, and that there's a mysterious group of numbered people who are gonna pop in and out like Team Rocket over the next few arcs. To set expectations, I did enjoy the read. It was just a slight step off the gas in terms of momentum, and I'm still waiting for that arc to hook me permanently into the series, like the Naruto tournament arc or the Eclipse in Berserk. I'm not expecting anything similar to those thematically from this series, but I can't wait for things to kick into high gear. Some of the things I loved right off the bat was the team landing in town, Zoro getting to buy some new swords and hearing about one of them is cursed, him running into a lady who he thinks he recognizes, and we get some interesting exchanges here that I assume will pay off later in the series. The collision of the buggy pirates and Luffy, as well as the military, was a nice little clash, and I hope we get more of this in the future, because I thought it was a bit short-lived. One Piece so far is at its strongest when things are chaotic, and we have a number of things going on. Oda seems to be quite masterful at playing with these tangled webs of story arcs, with each character learning their own lessons untethered to the other characters, and bringing them all together stronger for the lessons learned and strengthening the bonds of the crew. That being said, the hanging at the square and the buggy pirates showing up, the introduction of new characters like Captain Smoker and the girl who looks like a friend of Zoro's were my favorite parts of these few chapters. When we make our way to Reverse Mountain, to the Grand Line, we're introduced us to the first of the numbered characters with Wednesday and Mr. Nine, who are trying to essentially blow up a whale that swallowed them, and Luffy's crew and ship. We have some banter, a short-lived team-up, and they get out to find that the whale has feelings, which leads Luffy to essentially punch it in the face until they become friends. Sometimes I definitely wonder what Oda is indulging in when he's writing some of this. We get some more meat on the lore of the world and learn that the log pose, and there's different types. Some can be reset, some focus to a specific islands, and they need to be corrected and logged to certain islands, which can take various amounts of time. For example, the island they land on a bit later on in this review. The Grand Line itself isn't just an ocean. It seems almost as if it's more of a dimensional relay. Perhaps that's a bit of a stretch, but I am getting Bermuda Triangle vibes, and I feel the rules of the Grand Line are falling outside of the normal sail the seas into this watery, mountainy, snowy storm randomness that seems to exist in some type of weird gravitational rules, including the log poses. This just leaves me with an assumption: the ocean or the Grand Line itself isn't just a simple sea. So yeah, we learn the weather currents, and anything can essentially change at the drop of the hat. As they travel to each island, they need to record its magnetic field with the log pose before moving to another island, eventually reaching Whiskey Peak and a cactus-type island where Mr. Nine and Wednesday bail. The Straw Hats finally get to unwind at Whiskey Peak, drinking, eating, listening to music, and hitting on 20 women at once. But obviously things are too good to be true, and this was a setup. We're introduced to how the numbers are members of something called the Baroque Works, and now a mostly fully powered Zoro with his swords faces off. I would like to mention, from a setting and environmental perspective, the cactus rocks are cool as hell. So many bodies and tombstones that they turned into rock cactuses. This is such a cool and insane concept, and I genuinely love it. Back to Zoro, we finally get a flex moment that I've been waiting for to see what all the hype is about for this character. There's tons of animes that have some tropes I know link back to Zoro and are tributes to the character, so it was nice to see this fight in full play. Zoro is much more flawless in combat here, as he tests out his new blades and how far he can push himself. I know there's definitely more to the character in terms of his ability and how he grows as a person, but we shall see how things progress. As we push through the story, we learn more is going on here, with a secret faction and that someone from the kingdom of Alabasta has infiltrated it. The two new members of the Baroque are sent to kill Igaram, the captain of the royal guard, and we're introduced to the princess Vivi. Igaram pleads for Zoro to help her and escort her to her home of Alabasta, and this is where Nami decides to show her face and demands 1 billion berries. We get another pretty cool fight between the mementos, and I legit thought Zoro was making fun of napalm. I didn't realize until the second time he's literally flinging napalm boogers at the Straw Hats. We learned the Baroque plans to create a utopia of sorts, and all the leaders have lower numbers, all the way up to Mr. Zero. I'm also going to assume it's a power scale. 0 is possibly the strongest. Maybe this is a mislead, and 1 or 2 will be. Either way, the best part of this set of arcs happens as Luffy wakes up, pissed off at Zoro for beating up their kind hosts. The fact that we get to see Luffy really seeming to go for the kill here is hilarious. Mr. 5, mid-argument with Zoro, underestimates Luffy and gets handed off-screen. It's kind of a chef's kiss to the conflict between Luffy and Zoro here, and what I believe to be kind of a defining moment in their friendship, and hopefully a powerful rivalry, much akin to Goku and Vegeta, or Sasuke and Naruto. But hopefully with a better payoff than the former, and a no emo arc like the latter. Luffy dragging Zoro out to fight and their banter is amazing, and I can't gush about it enough. I once again get my expectations completely subverted as they just own the Baroque members. The fighting is filled with top tier action poses once again and continues to be some of the best I've seen in the series. As the fight unfolds, the princess tells us her nation is in an upheaval. It's actually their mission to conquer Alabasta. We get the name of one of the 7 warlords, Sir Crocodile. We learn there are now types of log poses, the different charging, 1 for each island, externals that store 1 island forever, and Igaram sets off to be a decoy and is immediately blown up, and the crew rushes to get off the island, only to have Mrs. Sunday waiting for them. Once they set sail on their own ship, the Giant Island / Dinosaur Island, they have a competition for the biggest kill, and we get a cool title page implying that Kobe is entering some training, hoping we get this character come back as kind of a badass later. Bragi and Dory, the giants and the village warriors of the Grand Line, to kind of fight whoever is right will win the battle to their eternal conflict on the island, and how it's kind of undercut by one of them being poisoned. This isn't my favorite arc. It does contain a lot of the same charm as the others, but I'm starting to see certain aspects of what turned me off from starting the series in the first place. Some of its art style and its depiction of female characters, how they're portrayed. It also seems like some of the main characters are taking backseats to some of the off characters as well. The numbered characters of the Baroque aren't really maintaining my interest, as they seem to be kind of throwaway, and I'm waiting for the big reveal to happen to drive the plot forward at this point. This is the first set of fights as well that I found a little bit confusing and hard to follow. Things do get much better and clearer though during the final battle against Mr. 3, and we get a bit of a cliffhanger for Mr. Zero calling Sanji impersonating one of the numbers as well, and finding the internal log pose for Alabasta. We get Captain Smoker intercepting the transmission or the call between them and heading to Alabasta as well. So things are starting to convene and seem like we might be getting somewhere. I'm also wondering if the military have some sort of super log pose and how they would be able to navigate and move around at free will. I'm expecting an explanation of this at some point. But yeah, these chapters weren't super exciting to me. As I said, it does kind of feel like they were just prepping us for something bigger. However, the end with the Giants taking up arms to let the team pass did get to me. Zoro training is giving me vibes of what I wish Vegeta would have become at some point. A master who fights to be stronger, his quest to become the best, and always pushing through his weakness and failures to be something more. Sanji gives us some interesting insights into his abilities, essentially to stomp Mr. 3, his quick acting to gather intel, and his impersonation skills to get the eternal log pose. He actually accomplishes quite a bit on this journey, and it seems like something's going on here as well with the character. Nami takes a small step back here after her big character growth, with her mostly navigating, getting mad at the crew, and falling ill towards the end. Princess Vivi gives us a new character to dig into, however, we'll need to see how her story unfolds. Usopp, he's kind of just there right now, and he does have a few moments from time to time, almost like comic relief, but still has yet to shine since his original introduction. And Luffy just continues to be one of the most endearing characters in a manga. There are tons of things in motion now, and a lot of questions swirling around in my head. The juxtaposition of the Giants reminiscing of their duel, Sanji and Zoro's competition with the creatures. I like the duality and the mysterious nature of their backstories. I have nearly completed the Drum Island arc, and it gives me confidence that this was just a quick stop in the beginning of the journey for the Straw Hats, and things are going to pick up from here. My name's David. This has been a mouthful. Please like and subscribe. And as always, have a good one.